Kristen, can you tell us a little bit about being a mom to your sweet boy Connor?
Sure. Being a mom to Connor is amazing, fun, crazy, time consuming, but I love it. He's a little angel. That's what every mom says.
I think that being a mom has changed your life.
Well, being a mom has changed my life immensely, in a good way, and there's been times that I struggle, as I think we all do. I always think about him first and me last now, so that's changed a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. So tell me a little bit about what it was like being pregnant. Was it an easy pregnancy, or did you go through any hardships with your pregnancy?
My pregnancy was very hard. I had a little preeclampsia. I'm sure a lot of women have to go through that. I have blood pressure problems anyways, but during my whole pregnancy, my blood pressure was skyrocketed. So I was high risk because of that, and everyday life was a struggle when I was pregnant. I guess about it was my third trimester, and I went in for my last ultrasound. When they do some of the last testing they do before your child comes, they told me that they had found cysts on Connor's brain, which normally babies have cysts on their brain. They just dissolve at a certain age when they're in your belly, and I did not know any of this prior to this happening to me. As if you ever have anything happen to you, period, you do research on it, but you didn't have any idea beforehand. So I had to go to a specialist, and there's a long word for it, but I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to. But there was a lot of prayer during this time. I remember just looking up what it meant to have cysts on the brain, and a lot of the blogs and everything that I googled, it was Down syndrome and how to cope with it and all that stuff. And I just remember like getting down on my hands and knees and being like, there's no way I can do this. Connor was born 3 weeks early because I was at stroke level blood pressure, and my doctor was just like, okay, you can't do this anymore, your body can't do it, so we got to take him. So he was born 3 weeks early, and I didn't know what to expect. So I just kind of went into it knowing that if God wanted Connor to be like that, then if that's what I was gonna have to just be the best mom I could to him.
And out just fine.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Which is a miracle.
Yes.
Did you go through any postpartum after your pregnancy?
Yes. I did. I went through anxiety postpartum and just postpartum in general. I just remember like being in the hospital and everything's fine, and my baby's here and he's healthy, so like that was like putting me on cloud 9. And I just remember, I think it was like day 2 of the hospital because I had to have a cesarean, so being in the hospital was 4 to 5 days, I think is what we spent in the hospital. So I just remember like the second day, it was just like something that just like clicked, and it was like I automatically went from being just super happy to just, I can't even describe the feeling I had. It was just like everybody wanted to visit me because they wanted to give me a little time, and it was like that day when it hit, it was like I didn't want to see anybody, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I really didn't know what was going on with my body in general, but I was like, I can get through this, this is fine. So whenever we went home, day 5, I got even worse. That's when my anxiety started kicking in because everybody started texting me, wanting to come over and see him, and I was like, okay, sure. And then they'd come over there, and I didn't want them to even look at me. I wanted to stay in bed. I really didn't want to see anybody. Not only did I have postpartum with the public and friends and family and everything going around, but I also had it with Connor. My husband was very great during the time because I didn't even want to get out of bed to change his diaper. Holding him felt different than holding him the first day when I was so happy. It's like life completely changed for me, and I don't know what brought it on. And I think that what made my anxiety even more was because I didn't know why I had these feelings. Why I didn't want to hold my new precious baby. Why I didn't want to spend time with my friends and family during this magnificent time in my life. Like, I didn't know why I was going through all that. And then it got even worse when I went back to work. So, being a working mom, obviously, being away from Connor, I had anxiety even more. I mean, I was lucky enough to have my mother-in-law keep my son so he didn't have to go to daycare. I can fathom taking him to daycare, having the anxiety that I had at the time. I don't even know what I would have done. But just feelings like, what if our house burned down? What if we crash in the car? What if, while we're home, my house burns down? It's just like the craziest feelings and moments and visions that I had. And then I guess about when Connor was 3 months old, I decided enough was enough because this had been going on for a long time at that point. So, I actually went to my doctor and told him what was going on because I did not tell anybody that I was going through this. My friends and my family didn't know, so when I eventually went to the doctor, I started telling my friends and my family, and they were like, "Why did you not tell me? Oh my gosh." And I was thinking, could you not tell? Anybody else is going through that? That's the best thing to do, is to let friends and family know and pray about it, because honestly, all the medication that I got from the doctor immensely helped. It did. But during that breakdown when I went to the doctor, I was just in awe about what to do. So I just started praying and praying and praying. And I know that sounds really crazy, but because I've always been like, I mean, you can pray and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, but it was just it was a spiritual breakdown with me too. So it wasn't medication that fixed my anxiety. It wasn't medication that fixed my depression. It was honestly, I think God was speaking to me during this time, like, wake up, I'm here for you. You need to just lean on me and not anything else. And so I think that's really what helped me get through all of that.
As you raise your child now, that he is too, what is your constant fear that you worry about? Just in general?
I have a lot of fears for Connor. I fear that as a parent, I will not lead him in the right direction. I mean, that's very broad, but as far as life goes, I feel like parents have the ability to mold their children. I always heard this phrase from my mom. She always said, you can't change a child's personality, but you can monitor their ability for reactions. And so, I mean, you can't really change your child's personality. They are who they are, but you can help mold them.
Hope to teach your child to prepare him for how the world is now.
Well, I want to teach Connor that loving everybody, and I want to teach him love and faith are the two things. And let me rephrase that. Faith and love are the two things that I want to teach my child. I feel like our country as a whole has totally gotten away from that. Number one, I remember growing up and us saying the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer before school every day. my child will not have that growing up.
If Connor watches this 20 years from now, what would be something you want him to know?
If Connor watches this 20 years from now, I would want him to know that he is very loved and that I try to be the best mother, and me and Colby try to be the best parents that we can to him, and that in 20 years from now I hope that he is changing the world with his faith and his love, and that he is just living life to the fullest, the best he can.
Words or advice, what would it be?
It would be that being a woman of faith and a mom is two of the hardest things in this world today. And who would have thought that you could say that right now? I mean, 10 years ago, I never thought that I would be here doing this, and be where I am today. And I am by no means the best mother or the best Christian. I feel like I fail every day at both. But with that being said, God is a loving God and a forgiving God, and our children, God makes children's minds the way He does for a reason. Children are just like God. They're loving, and they could care less. They want to be happy and loved, and as long as they are loved, that's all that matters. And I guess I would just leave you with, through my anxiety, through my depression, through everything, I feel like even though I failed every day, I feel like I failed, that you can make it, and as long as you tell yourself that you are a great mom and you can get through this, that you will. It might not seem like you can. Some days might be too unbearable to take, but you will be able to get through it.